I will make right. Don't worry.
You live in...
Yeah.
I go up there all the time for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I gave him. I sent. Do you know Mario from Vive con Huevos?
Yeah.
I sent him a big fucking package.
Oh, did you?
Se lo huevearon. Like, they stole it. He never got it. I have a tracking number and everything delivered. Like,
damn, that sucks.
So now I'm like, fuck that. I'm only giving people
in person.
And delivered.
Are you comfortable? You good?
Yeah.
You looking for me, you can find me at the spot. Chopping it up with Jonah, we talking about what's hot on the block. Up in Dago, man, we bumping. Keeping it confidential, you notice how we coming, we in front. Looking for that real, better tune in and stick by. Put on for the city every time that I dip by. Getting to that gritty every time that we sit down. Promise you it's real every time that I get round. Come on. Been in the field playing, we work.
Welcome back, Barbershop Confidence of the podcast. Your boy Jonah. We had technical difficulties, but we're back. Today, my guest is Carla. How you doing, Carla?
Hi, hola.
Carla,
hola.
for the SAP, who don't have the SAP button. Carla, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm good. I'm so sorry about that technical difficulty, but we're gonna keep it going. So you're from Canada or El Salvador?
Oh my God! This is such a loaded question. Where are you from?
Yeah,
I'm gonna try. Okay.
Thank you.
So I was born in San Salvador in '82.
Salvi.
Yes.
Is that a rude nickname for El Salvador? Salvi?
I don't know. Comment below because I thought Salvi is just like Salvadorian diaspora people.
Oh.
But I've come to learn some people consider it like only if you're an LA local.
Oh.
I don't know.
I didn't even know that LA would be involved.
And somebody was like, "Stop using that word." I'm like, "What?" Somebody explain it to me in the comments because I still don't know. But up until then,
I don't know. I feel like I'm older, so like my generation sits back and we're like, dude, everybody's like offended by anything. Like you can say anything, and they're like in their feelings, and I mean, more power to you. I
think there's like you have to choose whether you're going to be an educator or somebody who just shames people. Is the goal to be right, or is the goal to have influence, to change something into something positive? And the way you bring somebody along is going to dictate that, It's subtle. It's a subtle difference. It's like the difference between like flirting and street harassment,
like catcalling.
Yeah. Like the second one, you don't care how that person is receiving that. You're just doing it to them.
You're doing it for like out of your pleasure.
Yeah, and you don't care how it lands. Flirting is different. Flirting is mutual. There's like a mutual respect that's going back and forth, right? So it's a
volleyball of words.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's a nuanced thing, but I think if we got to decide if we want to feel righteous or we want to be influential for something positive. Yeah. And that's going to frame how you approach things.
Oh, so if you're born in El Salvador.
Sorry, yes, I went the long way. Born in
took the scenic route. Yeah.
Born in San Salvador in '82, and my family immigrated to Toronto, Canada. I was 9 months old, so I'm a Canadian girl, Toronto girl, and
a girly, Toronto girly.
Toronto girly, yes. And then I moved to the U.S. about 10 years ago, 5 years in Boston and 5 years here in San Diego.
From Boston. I was just telling you that I went to go work in Boston. Yeah. So I love it. Beautiful city.
The architecture is incredible.
Yes. I was an architect major. So I have like this appreciation for like structures and buildings and all the art that goes into like architecture. So when I went out there, I was just like in awe. Like New York and Boston for me was like beautiful. Like just the architecture alone. Yeah.
And how was that studying architecture? That sounds fascinating.
I love it. I regret. That's like one of my regrets in life was not taking it serious when I was doing it. I was more of I want to say slacker. I was lazy. I didn't take it serious. Like I was just winging it to give a better word. I was just winging college life, and I regret that.
How old were you at that time?
Fresh out of high school, I was like 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's even fair to be sending kids that young to something
to decide their future?
Yeah, so intense and expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I think this is my solution. Okay, Carla for president.
Carla. 20-30 something.
Yeah, instead, you know how some countries they do like mandatory military service?
Yeah.
Everybody should have to work in the service industry. Everybody. Every single fucking person.
Before you can even like get a regular job.
Driver's license.
Oh yeah, you know, like, I like that.
You need to know what it is. And I think the world would be a much better place.
I was just talking that because I have barbers that come on here, and because of the name, you know, like it was supposed to be like me and a barber, but anyways, a lot of these like young, okay, so back to the whole like college thing. I think our parents, that older generation, was like, go to college or get a job, go to college or get a job, or both, right? And so my mom would embed that my dad was into it, not an architect, he was just into it. So I kind of like, and my dad died when I was young. So I was like, maybe if I take this path, I'll like it. I do like it, but I didn't love it.
Right.
But I think now these days, the parents that grew up with that old parent that was like pushing is now like, do whatever you want. Like, if you don't want to go to college and you want to go be a photographer, or create a YouTube channel, do that, you know, which is dope. But they do lack what you're saying, like they lack some of the social interactings through some type of jobs like service industry, where you're gonna get like rude customers and you have to learn how to be polite and deal with it and suck it up. And you know,
when I first came to San Diego, I was a hostess at the Grand, hotel restaurant there. You do not want to get in front of rich people when they're hungry.
Entitled rich people, yeah.
Hungry rich people, like that is specialized training, de-escalation training. You know what I mean?
You know, have you ever had an interview where they ask you like, tell me about a situation that was rough and how did you just be like, I was a fucking server, and they're gonna be like, enough. Don't even need detail. I got it. Yeah.
But you develop some really critical skills, you know? Yeah.
That's dope. Boston, and then from Boston you came here.
Yeah. We drove from Boston to Toronto. Spent some time in Toronto. Then we drove all across the U.S. We spent the whole summer doing that. We'd stop off in like Texas and Phoenix, and we had all kinds of different food. You know, even there was a place where you get spaghetti and they put beans on top of it, and that was like the local.
Is that like Ohio?
I think it was.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is that sounds like an Ohio thing.
I thought my husband was like clowning me, you know. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, because I really like beans.
Oh, the Hispanic in you.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? But no, that was their legit specialty.
That's what they're known for? Beans and spaghetti?
They're like, oh shit.
They're like,
you're gonna love this.
You're gonna move here. How long have you been married for?
I've been with my husband. It's gonna be 22 years.
You've been with your husband for 22 years?
Yeah.
Jeez, I thought me and my girl were deep, but we've been together for 10. Married barely a couple months, but.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. 22 years you've been with him. Is that like a high school sweetheart?
Just out of high school, yeah.
College, so you met him like in college or something?
Well, it was like we're both like two stinky kids from Brampton. Brampton is like a suburb of Toronto.
Oh, okay.
I think Drake has a line about Brampton girls in there. Like it's
I'm gonna go listen and drop it, right?
We don't have the best reputation. We'll put it that way.
Is it like snobby?
No.
Hoes? Like hoey?
No, just I'll talk about my high school. I went to St. Thomas Aquinas. And it's like mythical for violence.
Oh, so like ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you say suburb?
Yeah. So what happened is there was a lot of development in that timeline. So we had like this huge influx of immigrants that are living in, not the ideal situation. So a lot of them moved to Brampton for the suburbs, like to have that life, but they bringing their children with them who are already involved in that stuff. Like it just became like a suburban. I mean, Brampton's a lovely place. Much love to Brampton. But when I grew up there, it was definitely in transition.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah. So my husband is also first gen. Like, there's a lot of people who just managed to get there who were trying to have like the American dream.
In Canada.
In Canada, yeah. So like,
is that a thing out there too? Do they say that?
No.
Okay, is it like the
Canadian dream?
Yeah, they can.
No, we're not that nationalistic there. You know, it's just like try to have a good life. You know?
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Is he also Hispanic?
He is Italian, so his family his parents are from Italy, and there are people from everywhere in Toronto.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Like a little melting pot.
100%.
Yeah. Do they all just because here in the U.S. like if you're Mexican, you're like I'm Mexican, or like
right.
I'm from the Philippines, I'm Filipino. You know, like they have like this pride of where they're like from the original bloodline.
Yeah, no.
Over there, it's like we're all Canadian.
No, nobody identifies like primarily as Canadian.
Oh, okay.
No. So if I ask you where you're from, it's very common, because like, oh, I'm from Russia, I'm from, Tibet, I'm from Jamaica, I'm from, it's just like what is it? A melting pot or a tossed salad? I don't remember which one it was, but it's like a huge group. Everyone is from somewhere, there's not a lot of, unless you're Native Canadian, unless you're Indigenous. But we're all just like a, island of lost toys from like the world.
They're like, the U.S. kicked us out, so we came to like.
No, it's more international.
Oh,
way more international. So that's the thing about like understanding the culture here, is that like, I didn't grow up with any Mexicans.
Oh, at all?
No, and I didn't grow up with a lot of maybe a little bit more Caribbean representation, but like being there, like I only heard bad things about Mexicans.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's crazy.
Because you would only hear the news from the U.S.
So like maybe what the cartel type of information,
or any American politician that is complaining about
somebody on the right.
Yeah, exactly. So
the border problem,
very, very negative.
Oh,
and then coming here, and it's like overwhelming majority one, and there's so much pride,
Mm-hmm.
And then there are moments where I see somebody wants to clown on me for being Salvi, and I'm like, I don't get it, like what do you mean?
Like the beef between what's it called, like Central America and North American countries, like it's kind of weird, but it's the pride,
so much pride, so much pride, and I see it like I see how beautiful it is, and to be there must be such a huge sense of belonging because y'all are so big, but I feel it all. I also see it like double-sided because y'all police each other the hardest.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! Like,
yeah.
Like I'm relieved that I don't think that degree of scrutiny would ever happen to me like that. So it
is weird because you have like Mexican Americans who are born here, and then the ones who immigrated here, and they're so like the ones who are born here probably don't. They even have like the no sabo, label.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, I'm not Mexican enough to be Mexican, but I'm not. I'm definitely not white to be, just an American citizen. Yeah. So they either love them or hate them, because it's like they're gonna pick a side. So it is weird. I used to whenever because my family's from Mexico, and so I would go there. My first language is Spanish, but then you go to school, so English is my more common used language here. And I would go over there and they would make fun of me for how I talk. And I'm like, bro, I'm speaking 2 languages. Like, what are y'all making fun of? So, but it made me learn to pronounce words correctly. It made me learn how to read and write, and so that I can go back and they could be like, all right, he's not just a gringo. And I was like, damn, bro. But now I appreciate it because it forced me to learn.
Yeah. It's wild, like when it's like the external, validation or the gatekeeping that happens. It's weird. I'd be having a conversation with somebody and they're like, "Oh, but you're Salvi?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Full?" Yeah. Born there though?
Oh, like another Salvadorian?
Yeah. No, Mexicano.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why people never believe. I'm a kind of a weirdo from all kinds of places, but like it. And he was like, "Oh, okay," and like he left it at that. But I didn't tell him that I was like 9 months old. We went to Toronto, but like
details,
right? Like there's this like scale of legitimacy that you have to reach.
Yeah.
And, like I'm just trying to be myself.
Yeah, that is like Mexico. What part? It's like Mexico City. What colonia? And it's
town?
like, who cares, bro? Like, what are we talking about?
I've gotten that from other Salvadorians too. They're like, what city? Like, you don't know my grandma. This is fine. Don't worry.
I know the country is small in comparison, but it's not that small where everybody knows everybody. And so,
although I have heard like the Salvies in LA, whenever they like match on Tinder or something, they're like, all right, let's do this. Who's your grandma?
Because you don't want to cross.
Who's your grandma? We got to make sure. But
that'd be weird, right? They both go like, I have a family event in Salvador. Me? What?
Shit,
Me too. Let's fly together. And it's like, oh, y'all met. Son primos. And it's like, damn. And the Spanish is different from Mexican, right? Mexicans.
Yeah.
Some different
there's
words.
There's a lot of like caliche, and like there's a lot of slang that I asked my dad, I'm like, what is that? He's like, oh, eso es lo que hablan los, I don't remember what he said, hondureños or something like that. I'm like, how come I understand everything then? And he's like, I'm like, oh my God, y'all.
Are your parents still in Canada?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you visit them?
I try to. So last week I had family visiting from Canada, and so it's tricky living out here when there's like holidays and stuff. It's double-sided again, right? Yeah. Because no one is out. We can go to the grocery store. We're like, woo! The aisles are empty, right? Yeah. Because everybody's with their family. But we're also like, oh, everybody's with their family.
Because we were supposed to do this last week, and you're like, I have family from Toronto, and I was like, random. But now it makes sense.
Yeah, I only see them like, once a year if I'm lucky. Yeah, it has to be like super choreographed, and it's tricky, We left to go to another country to find more opportunity, and there's sacrifices,
What made you land in, because you said you guys live in, or like northern San Diego. What made you stop there?
Well, I was, so first we lived in North Park.
Oh.
Which was really fun. Modern Times, the bar on top of the apartment on top of there, we lived there.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it was cool. And then COVID hit.
Oh. Pesky COVID. COVID has been kind of disruptive.
Yeah. Yeah, and we bought our first home in the burbs. We've never lived in the burbs before. We've city people. And it's been like 3 years now, and I'm ready to get out of the burbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. What made you guys pick San Diego, not like LA or the Bay Area? Or why even pick California? Like the weather?
Absolutely the weather.
100%.
100% the weather. And honestly, I couldn't find my spot in LA, if I'm honest. Like we drove around to many different neighborhoods, and I couldn't really see myself anywhere. And then being in North Park reminded me a lot of Toronto.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because of like the inclusiveness?
Yeah, just like
the
very
vibe?
Modern, hip, that sort of thing.
Very hipster?
Yeah. That's a lot of Toronto.
Okay.
But yeah. And I'm like, hey, I like it. The walkability was super important to me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because now I've been living in the burbs. I'm like, I need to start walking again. So we're actually going to like sell our house and move.
Oh.
To Vegas.
Yeah. To the desert.
To the fucking desert.
So you went from like extreme colds, a nice consistent weather, to now heat.
Yeah.
With cold winters.
I live somewhere different every 5 years.
Oh.
And then after that, I think I want to live in like the Smoky Mountains.
I admire people. I've told my homies this. I admire people who can do that. Like, I want to sometimes get up and move. Yeah. But I love San Diego. Like, I've left San Diego for school and then came back. And so, like, I appreciated it more when I came back. It's just mad expensive. But, like, I just love San Diego. But people, like 5 years, that's enough. Next. I admire, like, the disconnect you have for like a city or a town or whatever. I think it's dope.
Yeah, it's like am I saying this right? Double-sided, dual-ended. That's not it either. Hold on. But like, I also come from like kind of like a complicated family, right? So I don't have those connections. So it can sting, but it's also very liberating, right? Like my husband can work from anywhere. He's a video game designer. I can work from anywhere doing content. So like we can literally live anywhere. And it's been really overwhelming thing to try to figure out.
I wanted to ask you, so when you like living not here in San Diego, not here on the West Coast, and the reception you had of Mexicans was only like bad stuff, right? When you came here, was that like a concern? Like, oh man, I've heard nothing but the negative side.
Because I'm Salvadorian.
Yeah.
I was aware of it, but I wasn't really worried. Probably because I pass as Mexican.
That's true, right? They'd be like, she's one of them.
Yeah, and then when I tell them, they're like, look at me like I'm a zombie. You know, like, what?
So living around the Mexican communities and stuff like that, or around people who are Mexican, did you like have a different? Did your mind change of Mexicans, or?
Oh, I knew the negative stuff I was hearing was not true, right?
Or exaggerated.
Let me be clear. Yeah, like Toronto is a different place. Like, yeah, no, that shit doesn't fly. I just knew what the TV was saying, but I didn't believe it, obviously, because I know it was just like racially codified, right?
Yeah.
So it's like whatever.
Oh, all right. How you like Mexican food?
Fucking love Mexican food.
We were talking about how like the difference in different cities. Like when I was in Boston, they're like, there's a Mexican spot. And I remember telling them like, bro, ain't no way like I'm going to a different city, state to look for Mexican food. Like,
yeah,
give me your like what's the city known for? Like, give me beans with spaghetti. You know what I mean? Like, I can wait a little bit to go back and have like Mexican food when I get home and stuff. So you've tried it in different places?
I have. You know, Texas has some pretty banging Mexican food.
You've been to Texas?
Yeah.
So you're lying because their Mexican food is not good.
My friend, she sent me, she's like an award-winning chef and book writer, and she sent me to this gas station. She's like, go get the tacos there. And they were insanely good, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just came back from Dallas. I was out there for a work trip. And I remember stopping at a gas station, and they had like a full like chicken place. And they had tacos, and I was like, no, like I'm not trusting this shit. Like, pass. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But it was just like a random, you know, Texas, everything's spread out. Like,
yeah.
So like gas stations, they're not like here where you got 4 in one corner.
Right.
They're like spread out. And I just remember thinking like, who stops and was like, yeah, let me get some fried turkey chicken at the gas station or some tacos.
Was it good?
No, I didn't try it.
You won't even try it?
I work in a vehicle. So like,
okay.
I was thinking like, man, if I got a shit and there's nothing close to each other, oh my God. I'm gonna be asked out. Like, nah, I'll wait.
Can't risk it.
I can't risk it.
That's funny.
Most people wake up, they're like, yeah, I wonder if my boss is gonna be a dick. I'm like, where am I gonna have to take a shit?
Yeah,
because I'm in a car all day. So
what do you like? I know Charmin had an app for a while that mapped out.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, they have all the toilets. They even have like cleanliness ratings.
Like ratings. Yeah. I used to think that like I'm gonna fucking do a page and rate because I go to Starbucks. You know, they're just usually like,
yeah,
I get in, get out, whatever. And so, but there's some I was like, damn, this one's always nerdy. I'll just go to a different one. And like, I know which ones in San Diego to avoid. Because
I know which ones to go to too. Have you seen the ones with the Japanese toilets?
No.
There's a couple of, the consortium has a couple of spots, and they have Japanese toilets that like, the seat is heated. It fucking sprays your butthole.
The bidet?
Dries it. Everything.
Damn.
Todo.
I don't know if I want heated seats while I'm taking. I've sat in one and I thought it was weird. I was like, "Why are you warming up my ass?" Like,
no, it's just meant to get you to relax.
Like if you're at home or something.
Yeah. But like,
but yeah.
I know where all the bougie toilets are. We're in every city.
I don't know if you are kind of, so you lived in North Park, so you know that on the other side of the 15 is not like the cleanliness of anything. Like, so when I'm in that area, I'm like, dude, I might as well just go home real quick to use the bathroom, because it's like a 10-12 minute ride to get here instead of searching like a clean bathroom, because there's like a lot of homeless people out there, and so like they'll go into the bathroom and obviously they don't give a shit, so
right.
They'll kind of make a mess.
You gotta learn how to poop in a bag. Extra large doggy bag.
This is random, but I was in like east, kind of like Ramona area, like way out there, and those properties are huge. Like people own like big lands of property. Yeah. And I was like maneuvering through, and I was like, I don't know if I'm on somebody's property, and I gotta piss like bad. And I was like, if I get out and just piss like on this bush, what if it's somebody and they're like, shoot me, you know, like you're pissing on my property. So I was like, fuck. So I grabbed like a water bottle and like even like faced my car so they wouldn't think like I'm pissing on their land and shit. It was like the worst, and I was like, fuck, man.
There needs to be some sort of solution for you all. Like I know I was looking into like camp RVs and all that, and they have like a Cinderella toilet, and it incinerates everything, and there's no plumbing involved. I don't know. I feel like
shout out to those people who could live in a van too.
Right? Like
I could never.
I like the idea of it, and I'm like, come on, baby, let's do it. And he's like, fuck no.
I told my wife this day, I'm like, babe, let's do it. Like, come on. She's like, where are you gonna put on your shoes, babe? And I was like, I'll just pick out a couple. She's like, she's right there. She's like, that's where I know you won't do it. We like a little bit of space, so
yeah.
I couldn't. I think it would drive me crazy to be like in a van all the time.
Yeah, I was in line at somewhere, and these two guys were talking about like, oh, how's Josh? Oh yeah, he's great. He's doing the van life. How is that? He fucking hates it, dude. It's the worst. And I'm like, I'm paying attention to that.
I don't know, like I like taking showers daily.
I love hot showers.
I'm a daily person, you know, because I don't have to worry about my hair. But there's no way. Like, you want me to take a bath or like a cowboy shower in a bathroom? Like,
hose.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. That's not for me.
I need a bidet. I need heated toilet seats. Come on.
I need comfort. Yeah,
exactly.
I need like.
This is what my people cross the border for.
Have you been back to El Salvador?
Yeah, I went for my 40th 2 years ago, and it was beautiful, man. I'm like, oh shit, gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's like Hawaii.
Did you experience like a real? Your time there, was it real or was it like an Airbnb or hotel?
No, I went with my father, and we have a property there that's been in the family and under renovations. Los terrenos. Very humble home, but they hosted us, and my dad drove around. It was great.
Oh, that's dope. I took my wife for the first time, and I don't know how it is there, but like plumbing in Mexico is not like.
I just came back from Mexico a couple of weeks ago. I was in Mexico City and Puebla.
Oh, okay.
For a retreat, yeah.
That's dope. So I was like, look, babe, like the bathroom situation is different. Like the shower, like they don't always have running water. So you got to like heat up water and like mix it and, bucket style. And she's like, what? And I was like, this is very like humbling because you're used to like just turning knobs and like hot water just comes out. And it's not like that
flushing
everywhere.
Toilet paper,
like, it's frowned upon. And so it's very humbling, and it makes you think like, damn, I have it super easy compared to like a lot of people in different countries.
It's true.
Yeah.
We had a guy that was driving us around a little bit, and he had like a truck, and I saw everybody hanging on the outside of the truck. I'm like, can we sit back there? He's like, sure. I'm like, we can't do that in the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Because you get it. Oh, he's like, I guess we're more somos más libres aquí entonces. Yeah, they're more free there. I'm like, yeah.
It's more of a safety issue, but sure.
I know, it was an interesting perspective. I'm like, yeah.
we go to Mazatlan. My family likes to do like reunions. Not really reunions, but like multiple families will go. And in Malecon, where the boardwalk, trucks will have banda playing in the beds. So they're like, and they're just like cruising down, and it's like some guy just listening to music, drinking while driving with the banda playing. I'm just like, damn.
I want to go to like, what is it, Jaripeo? Is that it?
I don't know.
Like where you like dress up like a cowgirl and
rodeo.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, rodeo.
I want to go to one of those.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll dress up like a Mexican Barbie.
A tall Mexican Barbie. Yeah. Do they have that over there in El Salvador too? Is it like los vaqueros and stuff? No?
No.
Oh.
But no, it's more tropical, I think. We do a lot more coffee, but yeah. No, that's very North American thing.
Oh, okay. Damn, look at that. I'm learning from...
Yeah, y'all are like cowboys to us.
Oh. The rancho and all that. Yeah. It's the rancho or like city? Like,
yeah, one or the other. Yeah. I know there's a lot of other things. But I'm joking around.
We're going to give them the top two, though.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, so you have a candle business?
Yes.
I did not know that before I asked you. Like, and then I clicked on your links and I was like, oh my gosh, I love entrepreneur. Yeah. I love candles.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So do I.
I love the names you have for them. I was showing my wife.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I told her if she can bring one, I'll buy one. She said she would. And she's like, oh my God. I think you have one that says like something like hoops.
Big Hoop Energy.
She's like, oh, you think she has that one? I was like, it said sold out. Like she told me she would just bring me one. I don't know which one, but like candles is, she's a candle girly.
I have Big Hoop Energy, Plant Mommy, Senora Era, 90s Love. Yeah, and I try to add like a lot of inspiring messages in the copy. It's just like a way to create like more empowerment, and I don't know, I felt like I'm a millennial, I got a little bit of money, I want to buy something nice for my house, for my decor, and would go out and nothing really was marketed to me. And I'm like, I can do better than this shit. So I did. And yeah, I started before the pandemic, so a couple of months before in like 2019. And just to see the landscape change so fucking dramatically, what a time to be a first-time entrepreneur.
In that time, good or bad?
It's incredible training because the whole world changed. Like we had so many like service disruptions, like factories shutting down. Getting your hands on raw materials was like so difficult. So much so that I ended up like partnering with other Latina businesses. Oh. Yeah. So there's I found out about another brand called Casita Michi. And I was like, who the fuck is this bitch? And I got to know her through Instagram. And we became really good friends.
Oh, that's dope.
Super good friends. And what we ended up doing was joining our purchasing power and negotiating better rates. And just like sharing our resources and sharing.
She does candles as well?
Yes, she's a candle business for the Latina community, like the same market. And at first, people were really like pitting us against each other because of our similar names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
just for them, like, what's your name?
My Casita Candles, and hers is Casita Michi. Follow on Instagram.
Yeah. Follow both. Yeah.
Follow both. And people kept pitting us against each other, and we're like, no, we're homegirls. Like we share notes, we help each other, and it doesn't have to be this like crab bucket mentality, and that we wanted to be an example of what is possible. So we started working together, and now we have a podcast together.
Oh, that's what's up.
Casita del Sol, yes. And we do like conversations about being a Latina entrepreneur, and we're like honest. We're super honest about our journeys and our transitions, and we're just keeping it real with each other. And we want to offer something that we didn't have. We want to model something that wasn't modeled. And yeah,
do your candles have scents? I was trying to like find it, like what the fragrance description was, and I couldn't even find it on the website.
It's like hidden. It's like in the description.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, all of the scents are like to enhance the mood or the theme of the candle.
Oh, that's what's This San Diego candle is from a candle maker here in San Diego.
Oh yeah, what's her?
It's his name's the name is Akuro. It's like a Japanese it means something in Japanese. I don't know, but he did the little Cortez sneaker.
Those are so cute.
He mainly does like his own, but he mainly does them for companies. So like if you had a logo and you wanted to turn it into candle, you'd go to him and he'd do it for you.
Wow. So I guess he would do like the sculpture and then a silicone molding.
And then he melts the wax. Like I was there, I took some pictures for him during the process of making a candle. So he does it from everything.
It's an art. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's his handle?
It's at AKERU. Akuro.
Handle is in the comments.
Yeah. Shout out my boy Adrian. He's cool people and he makes candles, and I thought that's dope. That's a cool little.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a good like avenue to take. You know, it's different because I feel like a lot of like people who want to start like a brand will go with like t-shirts, hats.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the more,
it's a lot easier than doing like handcrafted, handmade products like I'm doing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, because you could just be like, here, put this logo on a shirt, print me 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit, than the handcrafted. You know how you were saying that you sent shout out to Mario Viva con Huevos podcast. You sent them like a package.
I did.
And they got jacked.
Se lo huevearon, yeah.
This guy had sent me some candles. With like a note and everything, and when I opened them, they were broken, and I was like, "Damn!" Just because like shipping, they don't care. They're just like.
This happens so often. Honestly, a surprising cost of being a small business owner
is the loss.
People. I mean, when I first started, the packaging, the outside packaging was so fucking beautiful that I kept just getting stolen constantly. I'm like, oh, no, man. Okay, I gotta change my approach a little bit. My favorite was one woman who messaged me, she's like, it said it arrived, but it didn't. And then like hours later, she emails me back. She's like, I'm so sorry. My abuela took my candle. I'm so sorry. We did receive it. I'm like, yes.
That's another thing about like having a small business. Like the consumer has a direct line of contact with you. The owner, the creator, the manufacturer, like with you. And it's easy to complain or like have a dispute and take it out on you, where like if Nike sent me a shoe that was wrong, like I email, but I don't even know if I'll hear back or who I'm talking to or if I'll ever get like it resolved. And it's like, and we kind of like just take that as like, oh well, like, you know, shit happens. But if it's a small business, we like, no, I know who this is. Like I'll run into them and I'm gonna tell them. So you got to deal with that. It's
intense. And I think for my business, it's been really popular. I sell out all the fucking time.
That's dope. Blessings.
Thank you. But I'm having a really hard time scaling. That's been really, really difficult. I'm like, my previous life, I'm a marketer. And I always thought if you create something beautiful and sell it, like the rest is going to figure itself out.
It's just going to on its own.
Turns out it's not true. But I'm more proficient in one skill set than the other. And that's where like the partnership with Michelle has been really good, because she's like, work with me, like, okay, these are your costs. This is how this works. This is how that works. And we've been able to play off of each other so much so that we're going to be moving Big Hoop Energy, Plant Mommy, and Senora Era under Casita del Sol.
Under the podcast?
It's a collaborative brand. That's how we're calling it. It's a collaborative brand from the minds that brought you Casita Candles and Casita Michi.
That's dope.
Yeah. So she's going to be, she's way more capable of production, right? And I'm way more proficient or enjoy the promotion, social media, marketing, communication side of it.
So it's a good team.
Oh, thank God.
As long as in Spanish is saying cuentas claras, amistades largas, you know, like, you know, as long as everything's understood and there's no confusion, because that's where like partnerships just like
there are challenges. Like I think I like fiery Latinas, you know. I am a fiery Latina, and like the way, you know, the relationship has definitely evolved. We've seen each other at all different
seen each other raw, and
we've seen it all
emotionally
raw.
Naked.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the trick. And the cool thing is that you guys don't gatekeep. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know in other cities, but here in San Diego, like the gatekeeping is tough. Like, if you have a guy who's making hats and somebody else wants to, instead of being like, bro, here's my man. Like, I would think here's my manufacturer. I'm gonna send them. I'm gonna tell them I'm sending you. Maybe they'll give me a break on costs,
right?
Because I'm sending them business. You know what I mean? But they'll be like, nah, you know, Google or it's like, why you like? It's okay for you guys to have the same product, like.
And I think
everybody has their own like supporters, like.
Right.
You're not gonna lose yours
for everybody. You know, there's so much space, and I think that's the other thing that's interesting. You know, so I don't remember who I was talking to, but they were like, there's so many Latino podcasters. They're so oversaturated. Oh my God. And honestly, you guys sitting from here, I totally get why you would see that, but you have no idea how enormous the need is. Like there are Latinos all over the world, and you guys are at the forefront of something. You know, because you come from this concentration, from this culture. It's a gift, and like we're barely touching the surface. Yeah.
Being like Latino, but I have all types of different guests. Like I don't ever focus like on just like Latin culture or you know Hispanic culture. But I see that. But I think what you gotta understand is that every personality is different.
Right.
We're all different. Like we all experience different things. Like yeah, we all know that the mom throws a chancla, but you know how meaner was your mom? You know it's different. We all grew up differently. So I feel like there's still space for everybody. And it's like, what, like an hour or two a day? Like me, I drive all day. So I could, 8-hour shift. I'm listening to like 4 or 5 different podcasts. Like, I'm cool. Thank you. Yes. Give me more. Like, one his, that's one. And then, somebody else's. Like, there's never going to be like too much.
No. And you can't imagine the connections you could be making. Like, I watch a lot of the IE and then guys. And like they're from what seems like a California Brampton, like the Brampton I grew up in.
Okay.
Like Brampton, there's a lot of warehouses. There's a lot of like immigrant kids, like, and a lot of the way they identify feels super relatable to me.
And that's another thing because like the IE, the Inland Empire, they're not LA and they're not San Diego. So they're like their own little eastern part of California, Southern California. Community that's like neglected by like San Diego. They're like, nah, y'all IE, or LA. They're like, nah, you're not LA, and it's like
that's Brampton.
Okay, that's why it's relatable. It's like, nah, you're not from here, you're not from there. You're just like your own little thing that kind of like in California terms, like nobody respects it. It's like you're not here, you're not there. Like you're not a major city. Like. You're the ass crack of Southern California, and it's fucked up because I'm sure there's cool ass people out there. Yeah,
I mean it's there. There's so much you can't represent over. Sorry, let me restart this part. Just cut this part out, please. Yeah, you can't imagine who you could be inspiring or representing. Like I watched this kid, Saul. He's in his 20s, and his whole branding is like fuck boy. I'm a fuck boy. I'm an irresponsible fuck boy. But that kid has been like doing YouTube since he was 10, and like you can always learn from somebody that's younger than you, and how he puts his friends on, like that's leadership in action. And like the consistency, he's super consistent. I never thought consistency was important.
Very,
I'm like, nah, that's bullshit. Nobody needs that. You get me when you get me, and that's it.
Now because people get used to you.
Yeah. So
and then if you like miss a step, there you can lose. Like
I think that's what I've been afraid of, the accountability. But
typical Latina woman, not wanting accountability.
I need an escape plan.
You gotta blame somebody. Like trust me, my mom's Mexican. My mom's Mexican. Like
I need to slide out of this.
My mom would like drop a glass of milk. She'd be like, Jonathan, and I'm like, what did I'm in the room. What you mean? Zero accountability.
I need to work on that because my husband sometimes. Like I get mad about something that I did, and I find a way to make it his fault, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize." Rolling his eyes,
yeah.
I fucked it up.
Rich
right?
sarcasm, I love it.
Yeah, like
that's hilarious that you guys don't take accountability. Women in general, actually. So,
well, I think this is a bit of a broad general statement.
Well, I'm toxic. So.
I think both have a difficulty with accountability, male and female. It looks different though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're the punching bag for our significant others.
I hope not.
Emotionally punching bag.
I hope not. I would like to think that Latinas were, getting gentler. I've noticed like a lot of my primas or friends who are having children now, just one generation over, the growth, the intentionality, the kindness and caring. Like, oh shit, like these kids are going to be okay, like.
All right, but that's another thing, because I right now just found out that me and you were born the same year.
Yeah.
But you turned out great. Like I feel like I did okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like that softness is affecting.
You think so?
I think it's having the opposite reaction. I think
Tell me more.
I feel like it's causing them to be the need to be coddled more instead of so like. For instance, like my mom raised me to understand that she will not be around forever, and that I don't need to rely on anybody for anything. Like I should be able to do everything for myself. Like that was her goal, was like, if you can do everything for yourself, then, and never need, so that nobody can tell you that without them you can't do this, without them this and this and that. Yeah. So that's how she raised me. So I was like, now, like I feel like kids, they have to be coddled. Like they have everything needs to, like they get mad when it doesn't go their way, when life just sometimes doesn't go your way,
right?
And you have to learn from that experience, where they get upset and it becomes like this. Now they're traumatized because something didn't go their way. Now they're PTSD because something, and perhaps, but life doesn't care. Life is gonna, the bill doesn't stop coming every month. Right. Like every month it doesn't matter what you're going through emotionally. You still have to show up every day.
Yeah. It's very interesting, like dealing, like we're the same age, right? My father's generation, like they survived Civil War, and everything was very extreme for them. And I feel really privileged because like I'm the first generation that gets to worry about my mental health, For them, it's like survival or nothing.
Yeah.
And it was extreme. And I grew up, in an abusive home with a lot of extreme rules, and like you had to be hard. And it took me a really long time to understand like war affects generations, and I don't know where the line is. Like for me, I understand my situation was kind of extreme the way I grew up, but I see these kids having a chance to learn how to regulate their nervous system. Something that me at 42, I'm still attacking with everything I got, and it's hard for me. But my hope is that these kids, their nervous system is going to grow the way it's supposed to. Like you're supposed to feel safe with someone,
Yeah.
And I think a lot of like my skills, a lot of my creativity, a lot of my juice came later in life when I felt safe. Like I mentioned, I've been with my husband 22 years, and just feeling safe and supported by someone, desarrolló, like it evolved, all of my skills came blooming out, So there's got to be a balance of both.
There has to be like a good medium.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that it's going to go the scale's going to tip to one side.
I see you. And it's about, can you care for yourself and survival, And like, I remember when Trump was elected, like, my cousin cried in Canada, and my uncle was like, her dad was like, you are not allowed to break down on day one. You are just not, like now looking back and understanding that a bit more, he's talking about the longevity of the fight. You have to have also endurance. So there's also like a lot of people dealing in rage, and they're so deep in their own pain body, right? And they're not giving space for people to decline some of the rage, Like you're allowed to take care of your mental health. You are responsible for your own brain. So if somebody, te está calientando la cabeza, is like trying to get you all riled up about something.
Oh, it's definitely healthy to like step away from them.
You're allowed to
delete them, block them, whatever.
No matter what they say, like, if you don't do this, you're a piece of shit. If you don't, like, bullying never ends. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, and it's just like a new bully. Like there's this thing on, I don't know if you have Twitter or X or whatever, but it's like you never want to be the focus of the day, you know, but because there's like every day it's something different. Like every day somebody's getting bullied. Like something, a trending thing is, you know, causing it. I feel like it's like that. Like in general, like the whole protesting, you know, whether it be our own political things or other countries' political things, like it's just there's always gonna be somebody who's gonna. They need that. I feel like they feed off that. Like,
you know, I have a friend from high school from Brampton, and he self-immolated. That's when he was protesting a lot about Palestine, and then later about Occupy Canada, and he ended up doing like a Facebook Live 30 minutes before he did this, and he poured gas on himself.
And burned himself?
Trigger warning, this is, you know, graphic. He lit himself on fire. A gas attendant came out, blew out the flames. He ran to a deli across the street and grabbed a knife and repeatedly stabbed himself in the heart. He left behind, and then the police showed up and shot him. But he left behind a wife and 2 small kids. I watched the news with his mom on TV. Like, it's just horrific.
That's extreme.
And, yeah, it's extreme. So like, it's always a reminder for me that I'm like, I cannot get carried away with what's going on in the world. And like, I know that a soldier recently did the same thing, and people are giving him his respects for that. But like, I want to be careful about that, because like, you leave behind people. You know, a cousin told me once, she's like, suicide, it doesn't eliminate the pain, it just passes it off, spreads it out around you, right?
That's like a real thing now, though. Like, people are hurting themselves,
right,
for a stance. And you know, not that I don't like have sympathy with what's going on in those countries and stuff, like I do, but and then I hate the attack when people don't follow what they want. You like, you're going to Starbucks, how dare you, you're part of the problem. It's like, listen, like I get it. If there was like another coffee shop right here, I'd, you know,
right, you take a shit there.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. Like, if they had if you know, if I don't have to be a customer to take a shit, like, or take a piss, you know, like, just the attack on somebody just because they don't believe in, and it's just like, we have that problem here too. Like, if you're pro-Trump, you know, they get shit. If you're pro-Biden, they get shit. It's like, fuck, man. Like,
it's the snake eating the tail, man.
it's like a really rough time to like. I feel more bad for like the young people, like, because I'm older. Like, I can brush it off and be like, whatever. Like, that's how our generation grew up. Like,
yeah.
We didn't let shit kind of like stick to us like that. We like move on or whatever.
It's concerning, because like, some people are so deep in their own pain body, and they're inviting other people in, and like, I guess I come to understand that some people grieve this way, but I feel like we gotta be careful, because we're adding more anger and more tension, and there are more attacks, these spill out attacks within the U.S., right? And I don't know, I wish we could learn how to turn down the temperature and find a way to think about things in a calm manner, but that the algorithm doesn't like that. No. That shit doesn't sell.
Algorithm is crazy.
The algorithm said no.
Whoever's in charge of that is probably like the smartest person, you know, like,
yeah.
And that's the problem with like the AI thing. Like,
I think like, just coming from civil war, coming from violence, coming from so much fucking trauma, and like, do you know the lengths people go to avoid, you know, this thing that you're insisting I have to do? It's
a tough time to navigate.
Sorry, I got really
got a little deep right now. It's fine. Yeah, it's just like a tough time for people to navigate.
It's hard, and it needs to be a space to learn. You know, like, to get it wrong, to ask questions, to feel safe in community. It goes back to like, do you want to be an educator, or do you want to be just somebody who shakes their finger at someone, and your approach is going to depend that, right?
Yeah. I take it like each individual who is like, like pointing the finger, unless they're doing something, their words mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
At all. Like, they fall on deaf ears with me because you're doing this from the comfort of your home.
I think righteousness has been like a bit of a disease, that gets carried away. People get carried away with it, and it feels really good, but it's the devil.
I was gonna ask you, in El Salvador, is Catholic like
super Catholic? Super Catholic.
Yeah. All those places that Spain invaded, huh?
Yeah, but it's becoming a lot more evangelical.
Oh.
Yeah.
More like spiritual?
No. Like Christian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, so it's like split down the middle now, and I think the church is actually bringing in like priests that are like el carismático, and like they're doing more style of like a Christian sermon that's a little bit more animated and excited. So it's funny to see how they're like competing over the
over the worshiping.
yeah because they're both influence the politics dramatically,
which is insane. But yeah, I think it's I've gone to like a Christian service, and I grew up going to Catholic service. There is definitely a difference.
Oh yeah,
like the Catholic one, no disrespect, but that shit is fucking boring. Like
it
I was like I would time where we are. I was like, okay, we're almost done. Oh, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. Especially me growing up, like football. I love football. So Sundays, you're taking me away from football to go to church. And my mom's like, that's the devil. And I was like, okay, let's go to church, but could we leave on time? Like,
right.
Could we not stick around and say hi to people we don't really care about?
Man, church was always really. I remember thinking that God had like a Spaniard accent. Because the priests and the nuns at our church were all from Spain. I'm like, oh. And I remember one time I got my ass beat in the middle of church. I was dancing. You know how they have musicians sometimes? Yeah. And like, both of my mom's beating the shit out of me. She's like, Jesus is dying and you're dancing. And I'm like, oh.
I don't know if I don't want to say like white people, but like American people, if they deal with guilt like Hispanics, like Latino culture is like, so guilt is like a fiber of our being. Like our parents like implemented guilt at every turn they could. I can't even post them to this day. I am 41. To this day, I can't post something me celebrating because she's like, your cousins, they can't have that. And it's like,
that's real.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Real. The internal policing, you know, like I have a prima, she goes out for dinner, maybe post it on Instagram, and her mom's like, oh, you could have sent that money to El Salvador, or like, oh, you could have done this, or it's complicated. Nobody really talks about like that first gen experience of trying to enjoy nice things without the immense fucking guilt,
the hiding things, sneaking in your own purchases to your home.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. There was to the point when I was buying a lot of sneakers that I couldn't hide the stacks anymore. Like there was just like on top of my desk, on the floor in the closet. Like I couldn't hide it no more. But my whole thing was like, these are old, Mom. Like I've been had. You just haven't seen them. And she'd be like, "Cómo gastas dinero?" And it's like,
"Deja de gastar pisto." My dad is what my dad says to me.
Oh man, I think that's one thing that the newer generations will break. Like I saw this video. It's like I don't care where we're at. I'm always gonna have McDonald's money for my kids. Like, cause growing up, McDonald's money was a thing.
Hay comida en la casa.
Yeah.
Tienes frijoles ahí.
I used to not like beans.
No,
I love them now, but I didn't like them.
Why?
I don't know. I just like I was like beans. Like, not that it was like a poor person food or anything like, but I was just like beans is they have it so much that you're just like, I'm tired of beans,
I gotta have beans a couple of times a week or not. Like I need that, in my body. It's not. I don't feel right if I don't have it.
Body starts to shut down without beans.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Going into a bean coma.
Get her beans stat. These are rare beans. Pupusas with beans.
Yeah. Please.
the battles between like it's like the same. It's pretty much the same thing, but like a pupusa and a taco is not too off.
Well, I feel like it's a different thing. But speaking of tacos, did we talk about what's better, a Houston taco or a Texas taco or a San Diego taco?
San Diego all the way. Come on.
In the comments, because I know there are people who feel strongly about the Texas tacos. So I want to know.
What makes a bad taco? It's probably like the seasoning.
Oh, I can tell you what makes a like soggy lettuce, watered out tomato.
See, I don't. When I think tacos, I don't think lettuce, tomato.
No, I think I'm thinking of Taco Bell.
Yeah, like I don't think cheese and a hard shell. Like I don't think any of that. Like me, tortilla, meat, cilantro, and onions, salsa.
My perception of taco has changed wildly from being in Canada, to being here. But I can tell you, it can be done wrong. Yeah, for sure.
I saw this video like taco night and it's the hard shell taco. I was like, ooh, the fuck?
I never ate that growing up either.
No? Like I probably until like my late, like mid 30s that I tried Taco Bell. And it's only because my wife, she likes it. Yeah. She's like, oh, I'm gonna get Taco Bell. I was like, there's like a taco shop at any corner. Throw a rock. You'll hit a taco shop. Like, why are you going to Taco Bell?
It's a different thing. I feel like it's its own category.
Yeah. It's like.
That's for drunk people.
Even then, I'd have a Jack in the Box taco over Taco Bell.
Yeah. That's like, is it a San Diego thing to be like going hard for Jack in the Box?
I think so, because I've asked other people from different cities, and they're like, yeah, we have Jack in the Box. And it's like, like, yeah, it's cool, huh? And they're like, I mean, whatever. Like, oh, all right.
Can you teach me some like Mexican slang?
Sure.
Like, somebody said to me a huevo, and I didn't know what it meant.
A huevo is kind of like, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to be like, hey, you're going to go to that concert? A huevo. Like, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's another one like that? Because sometimes, they come at me, I'm like, I don't know what they meant.
So, like, huevos, that could be like, fuck you. So, if somebody's bothering you, be like, huevos.
Okay. A huevo is positive.
Yeah.
A huevo is positive. A huevo.
Or it could be negative too. Like somebody's like, what's up? You want to fight? A huevo?
A huevo?
It just means like, hell yeah. Like, yeah, I'm down.
Okay, hell yeah. A huevo?
A huevo, yeah. Or huevos is kind of like in Mexico City, if you go and they're like, huevos puto. It's kind of like.
Huevos puto.
It's like, fuck you,
Okay. So the intonation kind of is what makes it
it's in the context of how it's being used, I guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna drop it and see if it works. I'm like, what the
fuck? Another one, I think Mexicans, the whistle. So like if you're like, hey, let's go out tonight, you be like, and it just means like, yeah, I'm down. It's kind of like saying a huevo without saying anything.
I want to do that. I'm gonna try that one.
I use it for everything. Like if I see you eating something and I want something, I go, and it's just kind of like, let me get a piece, like.
Salvadorians, we point with our lips. Pásame ese bolillo.
Oh, bro. Another one Mexicans do is like the finger.
What's this
when
one?
We say yes. Like if you're eating and they're like ask you a question and you just be like, means yes.
See? Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, el dedo. See. Or a lot of like what we call fresita girls, Mexican girls, like popis one, like
Tell me, tell the audience what a fresa
popis, is. Fresa is like I don't even know, like just like a like a snobby Mexican girl or something. They do this a lot. And they're like, see way. Like El Salvador, they don't use way, right?
No.
Yeah. I learned that recently that they don't use way.
No, it's very Mexican.
Yeah, that's a Mexican thing. See way.
In Toronto, I know we do like sheshe. We'll tap the table.
What does that mean?
It's Chinese. Oh. Sheshe is how you say thank you.
Oh.
Like with your hand at the table when the server's coming through.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
polite.
Gang
signs.
Don't do it in the wrong hood. I have this like weird thing where I see people throwing up gang signs And sometimes I'm like, what is that? Like, what gang? Can you like tag them? I don't know what gang. What are you representing, man?
Yeah.
Because they all look the same, so I need you to be more specific with your.
You need more brand diversity. Yeah,
more gang acknowledgement.
More creativity in the gangs, please.
Like tagging on the streets, like when they just scribble something, I'm like, at least artistic. Like, give me a piece, give me a nice graffiti piece, not these like generic letters, like Arial font of graffiti. Like, give me some good like artsy stuff.
That's cool. You know, sometimes I see they have like Instagram handles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can go and complain.
Yeah,
like, work on your craft, motherfucker.
That's my wall, man.
Can we get some butterflies?
Does it always have to be a gun? That's so cool because graffiti I did graffiti in high school, and it's like you came up with the name, but it was like only people who knew that was you. You know, like it wasn't for the public to know. And I was like, I'm gonna tag their wall and be like, oh, by the way, you know.
Coming up with names is fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in Boston, I was really involved with like the burlesque community out there, and they have like the coolest fucking names, you know. I think my favorite was like Tits McGee. That's not the most creative, but like so many different like personalities, and I'm just in love with how creative people.
Do you have any nicknames?
Culona from my family for as long as I can remember. Other than that, no.
How does your husband deal with that?
What do you mean? Me being
Culona? You have that. Yeah, you have the nickname for a reason. Does he? Because like, isn't it like? I feel like it's almost like a cultural thing. Like, some cultures like it, and some probably don't find it as attractive. I'm sure. You know, like if I think Italy, I don't think women with big butts.
Like big butts everywhere.
Oh really? All right.
Oh yes.
I thought it was like a cultural thing. You know, like.
No, you know what? I think that a lot of Hispanic and Black men, they're allowed to enjoy it, right? They're allowed to culturally appreciate it. And I think a lot of other cultures are just like taught not to over-sexualize things. And
so it's kind of like almost like they're fetishizing it or something. No, that's a wrong term.
No, I just think we're like so pro nalgas. Like I remember like growing up, like the photo album for the dance party was somebody's nalgas. And
then, like, that's true.
It's just normal. It's like an appreciation, I think, you know. But also Latinos are really fucking, you know, they're the first ones to make a joke about your physical appearance. Well, that's, you know what, my favorite was walking in North Park for street harassment. I don't usually have favorite street harassment, but this motherfucker, these two kids in a truck. He's like 8:00 in the morning. I'm walking my dog.
Nice and early.
Quiet.
Yeah.
And like this truck rolls up and it's like, "Hey, nalgas!" I'm like, and then they took off. I'm like, what an announcement! I have neighbors.
Like they don't know. That's hilarious. Yeah. The infatuation with like butts.
Honestly, I'm grateful for it because like growing up,
could have been a flat back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not what I meant.
My bad. You could have been a tabla that escaped.
No, but like growing up in Canada, you know, like the beauty ideal at that time was like, do you remember the movie True Lies? Mm-hmm. They were talking about the woman's ass. She's like, she has an ass like a 10-year-old boy. And
what the fuck?
White people are weird, you know?
Wait, that's you're a good thing?
Yeah, they like, and then women would complain at that time, oh, my ass is so fat. Oh my God, it's getting huge. You know, so like, I'm so grateful that I had like my Latino culture, hip hop culture. Then like, okay, at least here I'm appreciated, right? Yeah. The rest doesn't really matter.
I have a people.
Yeah, this shit is appreciated.
That's hilarious. The whole thing. Because I know guys who's like big boobs. Like, they're like, dude, she could be as flat as a board and like, I don't trust you.
I love big boobs.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love big boobs?
So it's very like, you get your like a Baskin Robbins you can pick from. Like.
Yeah. I mean,
is your husband taller or shorter?
He is 6'2".
I
was gonna say 6'4". I'm like, no, he's not. That's a lie.
Also, so he's a tall guy.
Yeah. I finally found someone. My family made fun of me a lot for being tall, and they're like, "Oh, you're never gonna find a man. You don't wear heels. You look like Frankenstein." Just
Damn. Yeah. Pretty mean.
Every once in a while, I try to share a story from my childhood, and I think it's funny, and then the other person is like, "That's not funny." I'm like,
well, like Mexican culture, like we make fun of each other, and it's just like. It's normal, like our nicknames for each other are always like mad disrespectful, but it's out of love and shit. Like I have a cousin, I think he's the only one, so he's like, yo, gordo, and I'm like, I know you mean well, like, cause I know we got love for each other, so it's,
my brother's nickname is gordo.
Yeah. So, and they call him negro, and it's just like, yo, you know how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we have kids, like new generation, like my cousin, she has a baby. Her husband is Chinese, and they wanted to, el chinito, and she's like, no.
Oh, she's like putting her foot down.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Well, like if you're any type of Asian to all Hispanics, immediately Chino China.
Soy coreano.
Yeah, se enojó el chino. Se enojó el chino. Anda agüitado el chino.
We got a lot of growth.
Still a lot of room for growth. God's working on all of us. Give us time.
We're on a journey.
Se enojó el pelón. We attack insecurities for sure. Yeah.
But I think what the thinking is, like, if I attack their insecurities now, when they go into the world, they're not going to be insecure about anything.
Or they can handle it easier.
Which is not necessarily true.
It can go, That's funny. I love it, though. Just because I grew up in that era.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
I'm still hurt. I'm still butthurt about it.
You're still working on that, huh?
I'm a cry.
Hey, stop being a pussy. No. Grow up. Walk it off. Right now, one thing me and my wife, we tell each other, we'd be like, you got a big dog, you be all right.
I like that. You got a big dog.
You got a big dog, you be all right. She's like, babe, I gotta throw out trash. I'd be like, you got a big dog, good.
Big dog me, now you gotta go get the garbage. That's funny.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
You're a cool vibe, and
thank you.
Your best friend. I hope she, I passed the vibe with her.
Yeah. My best friend thought he was gonna kidnap me. I was gonna be taken.
I should have brought my best friend. She's tall. And broke up with me real quick. I don't know if I could take her.
I don't know if you could. I know how to fight.
Go for the legs. I appreciate you coming through. Had a lot of fun with our convo. Little technical difficulties. Got a big dog.
You got a big dog.
What's your Instagram so they can follow you and enjoy some of your content?
Thank you. It's at the Carla Corazon on Instagram.
Carla, that's one of my cousin's names. Carla.
Yeah. It's a good name.
It's a good, strong name.
That's right.
Good Hispanic name.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming through. Had a lot of fun. Definitely going to support some candles, put them here, show some love. Yeah. So thank you for coming through. Thank you so much for
having me and sharing your space.
Oh, thank you. Till next time. Peace.
Yeah, you looking for me, you can find me at the spot. Chopping it up with Jonah, we talking about what's hot on the block. Up in Dago, man, we bumping. Keeping it confidential, you know this how we coming, we in front. Looking for that real, better tune in and stick by. Put on for the city every time that I dip by. Getting to that gritty every time that we sit down. Promise you it's real every time that I get round. Come on. Been in the field playing, we